Welcome everybody to another video, Vinyl Addict. This is Chili, and today I have the old and the new. Talking about Prince's debut album, I have an original 1978 pressing here versus the new Bernie Grundman Remaster. So before I get into this, please don't forget to hit the like button, share, comment on this video, and if you still haven't, please subscribe. Now with that being said, okay, so I listened to both of these today. I just received this one, and what I could say is that, first of all, this is a great album. I know it's always, it's not the one that everyone speaks about, and reviews when it came out were just like, okay, this guy's very promising, there's a lot of chops, great musicianship, he plays everything, blah, blah, blah. They don't mention that the songs are really good, because the songs are great. And Prince himself never dismissed this album, really. He would come back and play these songs. He played Baby on the last microphone piano tour. And he played I'm Yours, the rock song at the end, the 6-minute one. It sounds really good. But before I get into that, just stating that, I mean, he even brought For You, the intro with just his voices into, he made that as a callback on his Hit and Run Phase 1 album. It was like one of the couple albums before he passed on. And then it would have 1999, Let's Go Crazy, just the intros, and he threw it all in a little medley, and so he was harping back to this album, and he came back full circle with the afro as well, because he started off with the afro. Now let's get into what this sounds like. Now this sounds very nice and warm, but on this album, on a lot of the material, you hear things that just kind of pop out. What sounded thin, like on the acoustic songs, Crazy You and So Blue, the guitar sounded really thin. On this one, you could really hear that strumming, that very crisp strum of the acoustic guitars. It sounds really nice. Just As Long As We're Together is really good. That's kind of like the disco thing, but he also had all kinds of, he would blend all kinds of things. Even at this point, even though it's the first album, he was still really good at arranging and blending all these styles. It just sounds like a regular Prince album. It doesn't, even his vocals are so developed already. It seems like usually a couple of albums in, there's this place where sometimes singers try to kind of find their voice and what they're comfortable in and whatever. And he's doing runs on here, like on So Blue. It sounds like that song could be on the Truth album, the acoustic album he puts out later on with the crystal ball and everything. And on Baby, I mean, later on songs like I Hate You, they call back, he does some callbacks on this song, Baby. So it seems like it's already been part of the arsenal, a part of the catalog. It's just Prince putting out an album. It just happens to be his debut. And so at first, people are going to say, yes, there's a lot of interplay. He's really, of course, trying to show and prove to everyone how great a musician he is. There's a lot of interplay with bass and guitar solos going back and forth, kind of call and response thing, activities on I'm Yours at the end. And you can really hear on that song the overdubs of other guitars that he was doing, and I couldn't really hear it on this one, and as far as anything else goes, the packaging is still similar. There's some things in the back, of course, is different. where this one's really small, that one's big, and they say, of course, Bernie Grundman on this one. This comes with a nice inner sleeve, protective sleeve. The palm tree label is a little different. They have the little symbol in the bottom. And this is similar. This is more durable than the original paper inner sleeve. And this is a listing of all the songs and all the instruments in each song he plays. You know, so that remains the same. And like I said though, this is a great album. I like it more than even some of the albums that he put out later. You know, I mean way later. Like this is way better than Planet Earth. You know, this album right here, from beginning to end. It's well put together with the intro and then the outro of I'm Yours, you know, as bookends. And everything in between is just, it sounds like the blueprint of what every other Prince album would be anyway. A mixture of this, some rock songs here, some fusion, jazz, kind of funk, and even a taste with disco, which he would later revisit on the Planet Earth album, with some songs on that album. And so it's a perfect album, of course. Yes, it's very ambitious in everything what he's doing stylistically and how he's playing on here. And it sounds like a band. That's the thing. The arrangements, they, you know, it's not overblown. You could tell, like, you know, right now, it may not be a big deal when someone says, oh, they play all the instruments on the album. For example, like the Foo Fighters, you know, Dave Grohl's first album where he plays all the instruments, he was mainly a drummer on Nirvana, then he comes into his own. But on that album, his first album, you know, he's very strong on the drums, and he still hasn't found his voice, like I said, like in vocally. And it's kind of, you know, everything is kind of unbalanced. With Prince, the bass, the drums, the guitar, the vocals, the stylings that he's doing, the inflections and all these other things, these runs he's doing on the bass and the guitar, it's all up to par. And even on this first album, it's still all good, you know. So, and everything sounds way better on this one, as far as like hearing all the mix. It's not as muddy as this one, you know, and the panning and everything like that, the long Neil Peart Rush kind of drum fills that he does on I'm Yours and everything. So this is a, you know, top-notch album, and I'm glad that the estate decided to remaster the first album, because it's always kind of overlooked. You know, the next album, where it's just self-titled Prince, had the #1 song, I Want to Be Your Lover. And everyone kind of seems to start from there and then, you know, work their way up. But and this is always kind of like forgettable and overlooked. So I would suggest getting this one. I mean, they both sound good, but this one sounds better. And so that is my video today. Please comment below. What do you think? Has anyone heard the Bernie Grundman remaster? And what are your thoughts? Is it just, I mean, the highs, the lows, the bass, it sounds really great. The mids are just, everything is just pristine on this album. I want to know what other people think. And so with that being said, I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.